to you, it's about time you owned your ovaries, what would you think? Because I did a book, I did a thing. I can't really figure it out. It's called Owning Our Ovaries. Owning Our Ovaries. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so I did this book with six other women. I was the curator of their stories. I love how it looks like a bit of a hologram. And if I told you the amount of problems we had with this book coming to fruition, the hurdles on the way, the tantrums from some of the people that were supposed to be involved, the illnesses that happened along the way, um, just so many things. And I really had to own my ovaries. Now, what does owning our ovaries actually means? What does it actually mean? Well, where it came from was in my 20s when I was at a business meeting. There was a chap who um, told me that how he would like his tea, thinking that, because I was dressed smart, I got a really nice crisp linen, no, crisp cotton shirt on and a navy skirt, A-line skirt. And I told him how I'd like my coffee. He mistook me for a member of the waiting team. He could not imagine that a young woman in her 20s would be there as a managing director of a company. How times have changed, right? And when I told him how I'd like my coffee, and then when he went and got his, I would appreciate him getting mine. He laughed and he goes, "You've got a big pair of balls for a woman." And I went, "Yeah, they're called ovaries, and I'm owning them." And back then, I didn't realize just how many times I would go on to talk about owning our ovaries as women. You see, I've always believed that as women, the fact that we have the capacity to conceive the seed of life, to receive the seed of life, grow a human being inside of us, and then have the strength and the power to birth that human being into the world and then keep that baby alive on breast milk alone for months on end. If we can do that, we can do anything. And I've used that so many times in the coaching that I've done with people. And I really wanted to harness and showcase the power of women and talk about the ordinary women doing what they would classify as just, well, this is just what I do. People who didn't think anything of what they were doing, and how they could be inspirational stories for others. So I got six other women together and we created Owning Our Ovaries. See, I've got to figure out how to do this. So Owning Our Ovaries, unleashing the power from within. You can't really see it. I don't know why Zoom is blurring everything. Hello. But at the back of the book, not only do we have the stories of each individual woman, but at the back of the book, I have acknowledged other women throughout history who have given us the opportunities that we have today. Because any woman not fulfilling her potential or even thinking that she has potential, for me, I find it quite disrespectful to all the women who died and fought for us to have the rights and the opportunities that we have today. Hundreds of thousands of women have died fighting for justice, fighting for the vote. And when you think that women's right to vote has only really been a thing in some countries as few as 10, 20 years ago, then you look at some of the women throughout history. And I wrote in here, these are just some of the names. Nawal al-Sadawi. I love that woman. If you don't know who Nawal al-Sadawi is, please go and look her up. She's incredible. And then you've got Wangari Maathai. And please forgive me for any names I mispronounce. And then we've got Bibi Khanum Astarabadi. Astarabadi. I love that name. Harriet Tubman, Mary Prince, Mary Seacole. Then we have Queen Amarena, Khadija bint Khuwaylid, Ada Lovelace, Xian Xiong, Wu, Frida Kahlo, Anamata Fauna, Olufuni Mileo Ransamkuti, Miriam Al-Astalabi, Helen Keller, Bell Hooks, Yayoi Kusama, Betty Campbell, Ada Blackjack, Doris Lessing, Harriet Jacobs, Madam C.J. Walker, Ilian Omar, Coco Chanel, Ayn Rand, Anne Burgess, Leila Khalid, Elif Shafak, Vandana Shiva. Now, some of those names many of you will recognize, others you won't. Some of you will kind of think you recognize them. And then there are others you're like, yeah, no idea. And some of those names go back thousands of years, and it acknowledges women who not only stood up to slavery and ran some of the biggest businesses in the regions of where they were, or actually went to prison for their views, as in the case of Noel al-Sadawi. At the back of the book, there is also a selection of ugh, book club and women's networking group questions. One on medical negligence and bias, patriarchy and power. You have violence against women and girls, career, financial freedom and sovereignty, cultural and generational issues, and then honoring your ovaries. So you have 6 sections of questions. There's 5 in each section, and they're for you to dive deep into your own journaling practice, or to discuss as a group. Because at the end of the book, you will also see some journaling prompts. Oh God, see some journaling prompts, and they're for you to acknowledge where you're owning your ovaries. So the first one is, I own my ovaries by. I have been dismissed or silenced by medical professionals when. And I want you to take these, or I'm inviting you to take these questions and really transform them, alchemize them, and really understand what's going on in the world around you as well as within you. Now, this book is something that I'm really incredibly proud of, and I really do wish for more and more women to read it. So if you're part of a women's network and you're looking for a gift to give everybody in your network on the anniversary of your network, or for Christmas, or you're hosting a women's retreat and you'd like to order multiple copies of this for everybody in attendance, or you would just like to give an inspiring read to all of the girlfriends that you have, the women in your family, then do let me know. You can contact me via my website, dawnbates.com/contact. And just know that some of the stories are hard, but then the way through them, the resilience and the courage that the women in this book have shown, the things that they've overcome. I had one woman say to me, my gosh, although I've never been through anything that the women in your book have been through, I was so inspired to take better action, more action, consistent action. There have been women that have told me that there's a story in here that resonates with somebody that they know, and they've encouraged the person to go and buy the book, even if it's only for that chapter. Now, at the end of every chapter, there is a couple of reflection pages for you to make notes on what you got from that particular chapter. So if it was about endometriosis and medical negligence, then you can make notes on that. You've got the space to do that. You don't have to squash everything into the margins or into the highlighted or the post-it notes. If you've been through domestic abuse or controlling relationships, if you've been through rape, if you have been through miscarriage or baby loss, if you have been through community bullying because you believe something that not everybody else does, if you've suffered at the hands of your parents, at the hands of alcoholism, or been through a divorce as a child and then gone through it again as an adult. These are just some of the topics covered in this book. And it's not a woe is me. It is not a book that is inviting drama or pity parties. We don't do that. Now, these women are owning their ovaries, they're owning the power, and they're unleashing that power from within them into the world so that other women can benefit, so other women can evolve and grow and overcome and go on to thrive. So, if you're looking for an inspiring read for you or your girlfriends or your business network, then this is the book that you need to buy. And you can purchase it by going to geni.us/owning our ovaries, and you'll be able to get it in paperback, hardback. Oh, there's my dog. And you'll also be able to get it in an ebook. Chewy, خلاص. لا لا مش كده. مش كده. لا. شكرا. So yes, that website address once more for all the formats, apart from audiobook, that's not ready yet, is https://geni.us/owning our ovaries. And please do leave us a review and recommend it to others. Thank you so much. Ciao.